Ladies and gentlemen, this is absolutely wonderful news. Trump impeachment trial live coverage. Actually, the title of this, will the Senate trial end Friday night? Maybe. ABC News, Dems ask Chief Justice to rule on witnesses amid fading hopes. Then you have Schumer says vote to call witnesses is an uphill battle. Then you have McConnell probably has the votes to block witnesses, MSNBC. Then you have the Hill. GOP senators believe they have the votes to block witnesses. And then McConnell does have the votes. McConnell has stated that he does have the votes to prevent witnesses. If you look at my segment earlier today, my live stream, he does have the votes. So, Mitch McConnell grins. Does that mean Trump's about to get good news on impeachment? He's asked about witnesses. Of course he has. He's asked about the votes. He has the votes. Democrats would need 4 Republicans to flip. They would need 4 Republicans. They're not going to get 4 Republicans. They're not going to get Mitt Romney, Elisa Murkowski, Susan Collins, and Lamar Alexander after John Bolton stated in a video just yesterday when it was game over that President Trump's phone call with President Zelensky, who, by the way, stated there was no quid pro quo. Bolton called that phone call cordial and warm. This is The Guardian. McConnell signals Republicans have votes to block witnesses in Senate trial. Now, what happens is the Senate trial essentially has ended. They're going to acquit President Trump. The Senate trial ends with acquittal. There aren't going to be any witnesses. It almost certainly won't be witnesses. It looks like now that they've overplayed their hand as usual. So Democrats have no... You mess with the bull, you get the horns. Did you think you're going to get witnesses? If you want witnesses, we got Joe Biden, Hunter, the intelligence operative, and Shifty. You're not going to get any witnesses. I can go on forever, but I just, Senators mount final bid to sway votes on witnesses. This is hilarious. This is the Wall Street Journal. 4 Republicans would need to join Democrats for the motion calling witnesses to pass. This is a phone conversation where there was no quid pro quo. They're trying to say, oh, he's acting like a king now. What? It's a phone conversation. Where the president he was speaking to, this isn't Obama, like President Obama's hot mic, where he literally says, I'll have more leeway, so just bear with me. How is that not telling another foreign power not to interfere in the... He's actually telling Dmitry Medvedev in a hot mic, oh yeah, you know what? And they were talking about military issues. And he was like, yeah, I'll have more authority, I'll have more leeway. Just, help tell Vladimir. And then Dmitry Medvedev on the actual hot mic says, oh, I'll tell Vladimir. So you have this double standard. It's unbelievable. But there was no quid pro quo. The aid was given without any promise of an investigation. Ukraine didn't even know the aid was withheld. President Poroshenko and President Zelensky, both presidents, state there was no pressure at all, so they'd have to be working for Trump. So for Democrats to actually believe this nonsense, they have to believe that both the current leader and the previous leader of Ukraine both are lying. And they would have to believe diplomats without firsthand knowledge, who have no direct evidence, not even of the allegations, but also no evidence of a crime, because there's no crime listed in the articles of impeachment. But Democrats would have to believe these impeachment witnesses that didn't vote Trump. They're all Democrats or establishment-leaning liberals over the current and previous leader of Ukraine. So then there's the issue of the Mueller probe not being introduced within the articles of impeachment. Nothing to do with the Mueller probe. What happened to the Trump Jr. meeting? What happened to the 30 indictments? What happened to obstruction of justice? Oh, yeah, that's right. Nothing was included in the articles of impeachment. It's all... I was watching today the final arguments from Schiff and from Jay Sekulow and other attorneys. Trump has great attorneys. Schiff is basically saying the same thing as The Nation. You have all these, like, allegedly progressive publications who are now just towing the party line. They're saying because an intelligence operative blew the whistle that we have to stop government, impeach the president, because the president is withholding military assistance for personal gain. Number one, the Bidens deserve to be investigated. What they did was crooked, and what they did was corrupt. You can't simply fire a prosecutor, force the firing of a prosecutor in another country, looking into the corporation funneling millions to your son, as you are in charge of rooting out corruption in a country where there's a giant energy corporation known for corruption that your son is on the board member of only because he's your son. It has nothing to do with the issue of nepotism is not really involved here. The issue of corruption is. The oligarchs who ran Burisma knew very well that having Hunter Biden on the board of directors was a one-way ticket to Joe Biden. That's not rocket science. You say, well, there's no direct evidence. Yeah, but there's circumstantial evidence, and there's testimony from Shokin, who wants a criminal investigation. The guy who was fired, Shokin, wants a criminal investigation of Biden, and Giuliani has a sworn affidavit from the guy that was fired, saying that the Bidens acted with corrupt motive. Oh, but you don't believe... Oh, that person's just disgruntled, but you believe the Comey memo. Okay, and then today, in the impeachment, the Schiff and others, they're like, well, our intelligence community said, so what? You have a right as an American citizen not to believe anything your intelligence community says. In fact, you probably shouldn't. Most of the time, they're wrong. Bay of Pigs, Gulf of Tonkin, Bush's failed interventions, miserably failed foreign policy, Facebook ads. They didn't even predict the fall of the Berlin Wall. They didn't predict anything. They don't predict anything. They're wrong on major events and major issues, and they get us into protracted, never-ending military quagmires, and then they say, whoops, well, sorry, faulty intelligence. Thursday marks the final full day for each party to rally its members ahead of an expected vote on Friday on whether to summon new evidence. If a simple majority of senators don't agree to open the door to new evidence, the trial could end by Saturday. The trial is pretty much either going to end tonight or Saturday. They're not going to prolong this because it hurts. Well, it hurts Biden the most, but there's nothing to prolong. They don't have any direct evidence that Trump was worried about the No Malarkey bus tour. Hillary Clinton is going to be nominee. I will have made the biggest political call in history. Hillary Clinton is going to be nominee. I stated that Trump would defeat Clinton. She did. Look at the NPR article below. NPR quoted me and Nate Silver. In the article, I said that Clinton would lose swing states. Nate Silver and 538 said that at one point it was their emphatic prediction Trump wouldn't be GOP nominee. The NPR article is below. They quote me. You can watch the segment on one of my first segments on this channel, and you can read my writing in the Huffington Post, the article. Clinton is unelectable. And throughout 2016, I said Clinton will lose to Trump. Clinton will lose to Trump. Okay? And like the day of and the day before on this channel, I was saying Clinton's going to lose to Trump. The day before the election, and on the election, I'm like, yeah, Trump has already won Florida, even before Florida happened. So It's going to happen. Just like I said, like in 2016, I'm not right about everything, but in 2016, I called the election. I was on the left at that time. Nobody on the left was saying that. You had people saying, oh, vote for Clinton in swing states because they were too, they lacked the courage to simply say, don't vote for Clinton. You actually had people saying, oh, I'll vote for Jill Stein in safe states, but if you were in swing states, vote for Clinton. You know who they are. Then you had, well, whatever. The issue here is that this is going to be a monumental, catastrophic failure for Democrats. And it is a monumental, catastrophic failure because they spent months, they impeached a president based on a phone conversation where there's no reference to a quid pro quo, and also based on a phone conversation that the person on the other line stated there was no pressure. And also based on Marie Yovanovitch saying that President Obama's administration gave her talking points regarding Hunter Biden. Even President Obama's administration knew that there were conflicts of interest that warranted greater investigation. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's pretty unbelievable. You're going to have President Trump acquitted. Democrats not only lose the Senate trial, but they lose the battle for Bolton. And they lost the battle for Bolton last night when Bolton literally called the call that they impeached Trump on warm and cordial. Then I was reading an article in The Nation. They're like, oh, yeah, this is a king. Only a king would do this. What? You haven't even proven that he's withheld military assistance. You think that Biden is number one because the whole thing is a farce. Clinton is going to be nominee, not Biden. Biden has stated he wants a Republican vice president. He wants to go only one term. He told coal miners to learn to code. He's losing money every quarter. And oh, by the way, he's literally touching and feeling and pushing and shoving actual voters. And I'm not even, that's not hyperbole. I'm not joking about that. Just the other day, it was like an Iowa state representative. He's like, listen, man, he's telling people to vote for, don't vote for me. He's literally telling people, I'm not joking, don't vote for me. Don't vote for me. Vote for someone, vote for Trump. He stated that a number of times. He's taking one for the team. Look, if Bernie doesn't win Iowa, I don't think he's going to win Iowa. But if he doesn't win Iowa, Clinton swoops in easily. She swoops in anyway. If Bernie wins Iowa, they cheat him in the most malicious, insidious, nasty they're already cheating him, but it's going to be nasty. They'll bring up his essays. They'll say he's a Russian operative, all that stuff. But if anyone other than Bernie Sanders, let's say Biden, then they're faced with the prospect of, oh my God, Biden. And anyone else, they're faced, well, not an establishment choice. Oh my God. But Bernie is going to be cheated easily in Iowa. Someone else will win, and Clinton will swoop in eventually. And Clinton will become nominee, and they've cheated. They cheated Bernie even worse this year than they did last year, 2016. Give me your thoughts below. Trump wins again. Give me